Just in passing, I'm going to say it's nice to see you live, and then we'll go back from there to find out what happened. You left the Komets and kept moving up the line. You ended up in the Apple, and were a pretty big favorite in Boston with the Bruin fans for a while there.
Yeah, Fort Wayne was a great year for me in a lot of ways. I had learned a lot, playing for Robbie. And, it was about a year after I left playing for the Fort Wayne Komets. I was playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs with Boston Bruins. And so, it was really a big year. And I often think back, about Fort Wayne and just the hockey and the people that I met. It was a really good year.
I recollect the one game I was listening to, Shoe got a goal. Was it a first goal or a winning? What was that? Did you score a goal up there in the playoffs, or was it when you first went with him?
Well, yeah, that first season with Boston, I scored a game-winning goal in the playoffs against Buffalo, and that's something that I definitely will never forget.
And everybody was yelling, "Shoe, shoe, shoe." That can't be bad.
No, well, they still do that. I still, one of the things I take pride in is, even though I'm approaching 10 years now, I still play hockey pretty much the same way today and this season as I did when I played for Fort Wayne. And as I talked to you about a few minutes ago, as I hope to continue on, I'll play the same way next year, hopefully in one of the cities here in the International League.
So right now you're back out of Oak City heading for home in Toronto and taking a few weeks to kind of relax and get all your thoughts back in order before you make your next venture into hockey?
Yeah, it was a real good year down in Oklahoma City in so many ways. I was really happy with the hockey that I played, and considering the added responsibility of being the assistant coach. Even though it ended on kind of a bad note, trying to overlook that and just clear my head, recharge my batteries, and get on with my career.
Of course, your career's taking a little different tilt now. You're a father and a family man. Tell us about that a little, Shoe.
Yeah, it's the days of living out of the trunk of my Monte Carlo in Fort Wayne are far from over now. It's you travel, it's like an entourage. You got the children and the dog and furniture and automobiles, and it's not quite as simple as it used to be. So it's something that makes moving around, 4 cities in 4 years. It makes it very difficult, but it's just something you got to deal with.
I know you also expressed the desire that you want to stay in the game also for the reason of trying to advance yourself into the coaching situation. I know you were an assistant coach at Oak City last year.
Yeah, I came down there, had an opportunity to stay in the American League, and I went down to Oklahoma City because it's a great town, and great weather, and 13,000 fans in the seats, and it was a learning experience. Just because of being the assistant coach, I had to look at things from a different perspective, but. Maybe around the midway point of the season, it started to occur to me that, I still had the desire to play at a higher level. And then when these announcements started coming forth about the International League, I set my mind on playing good hockey so that I could go back. And, my future in the Central League at this point is, I really don't think I'll play another game in the Central League, so I got to look forward to trying to catch on somewhere else. I still got bills to pay.
That's right, and of course the IHL is expanding now to such a degree. Who'd have thought even those short few years ago when you were playing with Fort Wayne that we'd be all halfway around North America?
No, it's, like 2 or 3 years back I sat, when they were talking about NHL expansion, I sat in Maine and I thought this was going to be a really great time to be a hockey player. It didn't work out, and a lot of other people for different reasons, but looking at it as we sit here today, with all the minor league expansion and hockey being such a big sport here in North America, perhaps I can capitalize on it second time around.
Well, one thing, when you come to play, you play, Shoe. That's one thing nobody could ever rap, that Bruce Shoebottom didn't give it everything he had when he came to play whatever league or every team he played for. And I know the same thing happened for you last year, and I guess without getting into any heavy discussion on any of the activities and whatnot, at this point in time, how's your health?
Well, I'm not 100% right now. I'm still experiencing some headaches, and I'm just hoping by getting back to Toronto and getting away from the media scrutiny out in the western part of the United States there, that I'll be able to get feeling more like myself, see a different doctor, and just relax a little bit. The last 3 weeks, seems like every day there's something going on, and I just need to get away. So hopefully if we can do that, I can get back to being myself and get looking towards the future.
Well, I'm glad to see you, and I know a lot of people in Fort Wayne, ever since your little incident occurred, have all been wondering how's Bruce doing. And the only way to be sure is to see the body, and the body looks good. I know you're not moving too swiftly at the moment, but hopefully the rehab in Toronto will get it going. Just going to sit down for a couple weeks. You golf or anything? Are you ready to try that, or can't you do that yet?
Well, I'm not a very good golfer before anything happened, and it'd just be nice to get back to Toronto, and I'm looking forward to that.
You just keep it going. I know you got a lot of things on your mind, and a lot of things you'd like to get out of your mind at the same time. Glad you're here, and I know the Fort Wayne fans who enjoyed your play wish you well, and we'll keep track. Who knows, you might be skating up and down Memorial Coliseum next year, and I'd like to see that.
The only thing that I must say, before we wrap this up, is that I came back to play in Fort Wayne a couple years ago at the Riverman, and the fans were booing me. It really bothered me. I don't know if there was such a turnover, or if the fans forgot me, but they were yelling at me and stuff.
That's a point of respect. Jean-Marc Richard played for us one year. He left the following year. We had a fan club party. His jersey sold for $3,500. Jean-Marc came back, and he got booed. Pokey Reddick, who led us to 12 consecutive wins in the Turner Cup, first time he came in, they just cheered and roared for Pokey, but now Pokey gets the Bronx cheer. It's a sign of respect, Sue, and I'm sure if they didn't know who you were, they wouldn't have done it. And I know there's a lot of people have never forgotten you for the good things you did in town, so keep it going, guys.
Thanks, Chief.
All right, Bruce Shoebottom, and I want to tell you, I've known Bruce Shoebottom for a long time, and he's not the kid that you knew. This guy almost died, and I just don't want to get too deeply into it, but I saw some of the pictures and some of the things that happened, and I mean, it was unbelievable, folks. The kid can't talk right yet. He slurs. One leg, and he was paralyzed when they took him off the ice and put him in the hospital. He still drags one leg. Not to mention the fact that despite all the reports that we may have heard from one side of the fence, I saw the proof he actually did get maced. He got maced right there, off-ice officials. And it was a very strange thing, and fortunately, some very good friends of his in Oklahoma City as well as in Toronto rallied to his cause, and all they said was, "Shoo, just get well, come on back, and we have a lot of people that are going to help you, and it's not going to cost you anything at all." So what does Shoebottom tell me? He said, the only thing is, he said, they promised me the things they can do for me, and he said, I know the people can do it, but what scares me, so if we get into this situation and maybe I do get a great settlement, could that mean it's the end of my hockey career? He said, because I want my life to be hockey. I want to get in. I want to learn to coach. That's what I want my life to be. I'd like to help other people enjoy the game as I have, and that's really what I want to do. And he said, I don't know what to do about it. And he said, people have rallied to my cause and said they would guarantee me the things they would do. But he said, I'm almost still debating, do I really want to do that? And I mean, that's how this kid thinks about hockey. And after getting more of the results and looking at some pictures and stuff, I'll tell you one thing, it wouldn't take too good an attorney, and Shue could have a retirement plan that would last him the rest of his life. But he doesn't know what he wants to do about it. And there's a kid who has a real case against hockey, and he loves hockey so much he may not carry his case against it. And in a way that irritates me, because what happened to him should have never happened. The people who did what they did to him had no business doing it under any circumstances. And like he said right now, he's got an iron-bound case, but he doesn't know what to do about it. Whichever way Shue decides to go, I hope it's right for him and in his own mind, because that's the thing that really counts. But it's too bad when something like that happens, because it never should. And I'll say one thing, in the International Hockey League, folks, a Bush thing that happened to Shue, regardless of what Shue was doing, would never, ever happen. And that's one thing he said as well. And I'm glad that things like that could never happen in our league, because we're way too professional, way above reproach, and it was kind of sad. But Shue lived through it, but he's not the Shue I used to know. As I told you, a little spirit, he can hardly move his head, he slurs his talk, and he walks with a limp in his left leg, which is still partially paralyzed, and he was totally paralyzed for hours after this situation. Never should